Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have many jobs on the go at the moment in my Nissan NV200, and today I'm going to start another one because why not have 20 on the go at any one time. Everything else is kind of on hold while I wait for materials or parts or one job to finish before one job can start, sort of thing. So I'm going to attempt to remove my center console box from between the two seats in the front, so that it's easier to pass through from the front to the back of the van. I couldn't find any instructions on either YouTube or Google. Really, there is some for the later models. Mine is a 2014, but once you get into the 2017 range, which most of the vans that I've seen converted are, the center console is different to mine. So I'm basically going to wing it and see how I get on. I kind of have a rough idea of sort of the places that they hide the bolts for it and the technique of sliding back the back of the center console, but whether that'll be relevant to mine or not, I don't know. So we're just going to play it by ear and see how we go. This little winter sun is going to make filming here a little tricky, but I'll do my best. So the center console box in this older model has the cup holders at the back. I think that might be an optional extra, but I'm not entirely sure. Then it also has this front levered top part that levers all the way forward to open up a big section at the bottom, which has some electrical charging points down there, and they'll be the trickiest part. So to take this apart, I'm going to undo these two screws and take this top section off, which has the cup holders in, and then I'm going to remove these two screws, which I'm hoping will take off the lid, and then I can see what bolts and fixings I need to do further back. Okay, there appear to be two bolts in the bottom of here, and it looks like they hold on this back section, the high back section. The front, I'm not too sure on yet. I think that's probably got some sort of fasteners potentially under the front of the dash, but hopefully not. Hopefully once the back section's out, this front bit will slide out. So I need to take those two bolts out, and there are two bolts in the back. If I adjust my camera. Here, there is one which goes into the floor, but this one is where things might get tricky because there is this charging port here. So I did read that somebody had taken theirs out and the cable had been quite short on this, so I'm going to have to be careful that I don't snap that in case I want to reuse this, which I probably will for my USB ports in the back of the van. So we'll loosen these off and just kind of have a play around and see how this thing moves, and then see where we go from there. Okay, so I've took these two bolts at the front and the ones at the back. I'm hoping that this plastic box is just the cover for these charging ports, and that when I take this off, they'll still be there, that this circle is just a cover. So we're going to give it a try together. Yeah, it seems to be loose, but I will double check that. I won't pull that too hard. I need to undo it from the front. I'm not sure how that comes off. I'm having some difficulty here. Everything's loose at the back. I'm going to have to watch for cables. but the front section is still attached to the back section. And maybe if I get a screwdriver and I can lever them apart. I'm not sure if they come apart or not, but as I kind of wiggle all this, this is all held together and seems to be attached somewhere underneath the front dash. Okay, so I've been able to get the screwdriver in here and loosen it off from the front section with just a flathead screwdriver. So, moment of truth. Will this come out without ripping cables? I think there's a cable on that. I'm going to have to get my head down on the floor and have a look with a torch. Okay, so when I lift up the centre section and look underneath, I can lift it up quite a long way, but I'll try and shine a torch down there. I don't think it'll make much difference, but there is something holding the plastic top onto the metal. It looks like some sort of electrical plug. I need to do a little investigating and hopefully be able to unplug that somehow. Okay, so that's managed to come off. I had to reach right under, and there was a plug for the electrics. So what I did was reach right underneath. I can't see it in the viewfinder. Reach right underneath, and this socket was here, and there's just a little tag on one side here. I just had to squeeze that and pull it backwards to unplug it from the charging port. So that's left me with a lot of exposed cables. So I have to build like a little pass through, like a little, I don't know, a little box, a low level box to go over all of this. And I need to remove this bracket somehow and see if I can get this front section off. I wonder if that will just pull out now. I might have to get a screwdriver on that. So this bracket is just held on with 10mm bolts, one at each side. I've had to snip the carpet here so I can lever this up, and there's one just underneath here. So just undo those and I can get rid of this. I think the USB, not the USB, the 12 volt port, charging port, I'm going to take out here and reuse the cable and put it into this gap here next to this 12 volt charge point, because it also has an outlet on it for speakers or music or whatever, not just and it has a USB port, so that'll give me 12 volt jack and a USB port in the front of the cab. Okay, so this part turned into a real pain in the backside. This whole bottom of the centre console has had to be taken out. So when I put it back in, I will show you, but there was two toggles, one each side, passenger and driver side, that hold on this plastics around. Just those two bits, so it was really easy. The hard part was the boot of the handbrake had to be taken off. It was just held on by a screw, and then the plug had to be pulled out, reached in and pulled out to pull out the back of the 12 volt port here, and then this whole section has been lifted out in one, because when you flip it over, if I can find, the tray is held onto the dash console with two screws, so this whole thing had to come out. Finally. So now that this front tray is taken off, I can finally start putting this thing back together. The ashtray had to come out as well before being able to pull this out. That came out really easily. I can figure out how to do it. This had to come out first. It's still loose at the moment, I haven't fastened it, but just by pressing on the thing at the top, and it was able to just lift out to expose these two screws to be able to take out this front dash. So there's the two toggles, one either side, and these two screws behind the ashtray. So under here you can see where that hole is where the toggles go, or one toggle this side, one toggle the other side. They are like a screw topped toggle. The other one at the other side is actually missing, and was missing when I bought it, so I'm gonna have to find some replacements for these. Okay, so John has popped this out of its original casing. It just pushed out from the inside, so now this can be placed next to the 12-volt charger port here, and we'll just drill a hole in this unused side and slide that into there, and the wire which was attached to the back of the plug will just be pulled back through under the carpet and put into the behind the dash and plugged into the the new USB port, which means I can then charge my phone whilst I'm in the cab. Decided to put this back in. We've not screwed it back together to the dash plastic. It was screwed from the other side and all this had to come out. It holds in place without it, and it's just held on with these two bolts, because building a center box in the center section, covering all these cables is one thing, but over here, by the time we'd covered all the electronics in here, the box will be pretty much the same size as what this tray is anyway, so we don't gain anything by making the box all the way through from the front. So instead we'll make some sort of a cover box for just this back section and leave this front tray to just basically use as a tray. So as usual, what I thought would be a half-hour job turned into at least an hour. I have no idea what time it is, but it's definitely lunchtime, and it's a bit messier underneath than I was expecting, but nothing that can't be dealt with. There is a cable that has been taped off, power cable. I'm not sure what that's for, so I need to do a bit of investigating, maybe be able to reuse that for something else. But yes, that front section was the harder of the two parts. I thought the back would be harder, but it turned out not to be. So thank you for watching. Hopefully at least there is one video on YouTube on how to do this, even if it's a little bit not very professional, but we got there in the end. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.